What if I told you that the way you think today can decide what happens tomorrow? This is not just a story. It's a lesson that changed an entire village. Once upon a time, in a small, quiet village, lived an old lady. She was very old, with silver hair and a face full of gentle wrinkles. But her eyes were bright, warm, and full of kindness. Everyone in the village loved her, not because she was rich, not because she was powerful, but because she was always happy even when life was hard. She lived alone in a small house near a big banyan tree. Her husband had passed away many years ago, and she had no children. Yet, she never complained. Every day, she sat under the tree, spoke kindly to people, and always smiled. Life in the village was not easy. Some people were farmers, some were carpenters, others worked in the small market. Sometimes the rain didn't come, crops dried up, people fell sick. Worry and sadness filled many hearts. One day, a young woman named Radha came to the old lady. Her eyes were full of tears, her face heavy with fear. "My husband went to the city to find work," she cried. "He hasn't sent any money. My children are hungry, and I am scared." The old lady looked at her and smiled softly. "Sit down, my child," she said. "Tell me, what do you think will happen?" Radha wiped her tears. "I only think bad things will happen. What if my husband can't find work? What if he forgets about us?" The old lady gently shook her head. "When we think bad thoughts," she said, "our heart becomes heavy. But when we think good thoughts, our heart feels lighter, and sometimes good things begin to happen." Radha looked confused. "But how can I think good thoughts when everything feels so bad?" The old lady smiled again. "Let me tell you a story. Once, there was a poor man who had nothing. No food, no money, no family. He sat by a river, crying. An old woman came to him and asked, "Why are you crying?" The man sighed, "I have nothing. How can I be happy?" The woman smiled and said, "You have the river. You have the trees. You have the sun above you. If you only think about what you don't have, you will always suffer. But if you think about what you do have, you will find peace." The man listened. Slowly, he stopped crying. He began to see the beauty around him. And from that day, his life began to change. The old lady looked at Radha and said, "The man's life didn't change because of magic. It changed because he changed his thinking." Positive thinking doesn't remove problems, but it gives us the strength to face them. Radha asked softly, "Can my thinking really change my life?" The old lady nodded. "Yes, my child. If you wake up every morning and say, 'Today will be a good day,' you will find strength. But if you only think about fear, your heart will grow weak." Radha nodded slowly. "I understand. I will try." "That is the first step," the old lady said. Radha returned home with a lighter heart. Every morning, she told herself, "Today will be a good day." She worked hard. She cared for her children. She waited with hope. A few weeks later, Radha received a letter. Her husband had found a job in the city. Money was on the way. Overjoyed, Radha ran to the old lady's house. The old lady smiled and said, "You see, my dear, when we think positive, we invite good things into our life." Soon, villagers began coming to the old lady with their worries. She gave them the same advice. Think good thoughts. Face life with hope. And slowly, their lives began to change. That old lady taught them one simple truth. Positive thinking doesn't change the world instantly, but it changes you, and that changes everything.